So you know what's really funny and kind of like ironic?
A lot of shit is
really
funny.
Think about it.
Tell me.
We've all seen this show called The House of Cards on Netflix, right? Mm-hmm. In many, many ways, folks, what we've just witnessed since 2016, through obviously the loss of the president right now, it echoes and it kind of shadows the show a lot. How can that be so ironic?
It's not ironic. It's art imitating life, and we will get to that at some point in the future. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another episode of The Weigh-In. The title of today's episode is The Legacy of Trump, Part 1. The Art of the Still.
Jesus Christ.
You see what I did there? Let's go, motherfucker. This is not for Henny Boys, but this is about to get
Henny Boys.
This is about to get crazy. So the first thing I'd like to talk about is hell of a campaign.
Great
Mr.
campaign.
Donald Trump, DT, 4/5, the homie, that dude, that boy, he was very outspoken.
You think?
He lobbed insults at women, Muslims, Mexicans, immigrants, even, rest in peace, Senator John McCain, war veteran. Like, build a wall. They're all thieves, rapists, killers, drug users, drug dealers. Like, what a way to come in. A guy with no political capital, no real political
Wins
background,
an election.
kind of flirts with this shit, but this is how you come in? Like, that, remember that shit? That was crazy.
And let me throw in there also, stealing babies from their mothers.
Yeah.
What is going on here?
Yeah, he wanted, Trump. Let's not get this wrong. Whether it's Trump or his team, homie was a genius. The way that he was able to,
a genius.
Yes.
I think
no.
Well, tell me.
There's you don't just get the American presidency. You don't just kind of co-opt the American people. He was really a master at his craft with painting the narrative, and that's what he did.
That was a goddamn TV show did it.
He and he used all of that. You got to think, this is a dude that had no political background, that he succeeded and got the highest office in American history.
I know. I can't even believe it when you said that. When you say that, I can't even believe that transpired in our lifetime.
Yes. It's an embarrassment. It's almost a joke, but it's reality. No matter what.
Well, tell me more about it. How did this dope do it?
The great white dope.
White dope?
So think about
this.
That's perfect. This man, who's apparently a genius, he's touted himself as being a genius, highest IQ in the planet. Einstein, Elon Musk, he's up there.
Tesla,
he didn't know who David Duke was. The support of white nationalists didn't faze him at all. Think about his mishandling of the Charlottesville incident. Oh, there's good and bad people on both sides. His dog whistle antics, that haunted his presidency and ignited the agendas of many radical groups.
Oh, Parkland incidents, you name it, man.
Yeah,
so much shit.
Even kind of going forward, but not too much, the George Floyd incident, and just the way he handled his policy and the way he handled race relations. The man was coming in to divide America. It
was all about. The Republicans found somebody who had enough balls to say the shit that they've always believed, and they finally found a fool, or the great white dope, as you say. The great white dope. Who actually would say it. They always felt this way, but Donald was the one who would say it.
Yeah, and he kind of backed a lot of their, conservative views, and I don't think that he personally felt that this is the way to go.
Oh, well, he surely did.
To me personally, I felt that he thought, I can make money off this.
Well, yeah, of course. That's part of it. It's a large part of it. Look, if you go back a little bit in history, remember the fact that when those young black kids were all shot up on the subway in New York City.
Yeah, Central Park 5?
Central Park 5.
Oh, no. That's something different. I know what you're talking about.
There was 5 boys. I think it might be possibly. But either way, you folks know what we're talking about. The first person that actually defended the shooting and the whole 9 yards was Donald J. Trump.
Yeah.
He came out as a fucking racist right from the get-go because he thought that was the best way to go. And he learned racism real early at that point. He learned a lot from his father, too.
But also talking about the Central Park Five, he was one of like the main protagonists that was like locked him up. And even as we know, the Central Park Five were not guilty.
They weren't guilty at all. Yeah, which is the funniest thing in the world.
Yeah, and he never apologized for that. And he was one of like the most ardent, we need to lock these guys up. We need to, we need to punish these guys. That became the largest
story in New York City at that time. And as I was a bit younger, you might remember it also. Obviously, you do. That was a major factor of story in America at that time.
Yeah, and
that set the precedence for many things that were about to take place within
stop and frisk. That kind of that kind of polluted a lot of the.
That all led to where we were from 2016 on.
Yeah,
because Donald realized he covered his ass after all the debacles that took place in Atlantic City when he bankrupted all the casinos, and he screwed all the contractors on bills, which was the beginning of the multiple, massive quantity of lawsuits he would get later on, which we'll talk about fairly soon. So Donald figured out the game plan real fast.
Yeah.
Everything was about divisiveness and deceit. He covered his ass in every way he could. So a racist situation would cover his ass in this world.
And you got to think about it. Donald's father was the guy that he bought all those low income housings very cheap.
Yes.
And he got, low income, which were people of color, to kind of rent, and occupy these.
Yes.
But he never kept them up. He was basically a slumlord, and he did that all over New York City. And that's his legacy.
That's his legacy. You want to know something also to add to what you just said? We've seen movies throughout the years and stuff. You may remember the tail end of the tenement buildings that all the Irish and the Jewish and all the immigrants first lived in the early 1920s and the 1910s and 1930s and whatnot. Donald J. Trump's father, Hank, is that his name? I can't remember his name. He bought those buildings before they were totally destroyed, and he rebuilt all those areas.
Yes.
Now we've all seen the tenements in those buildings. The clothing lines running through buildings.
Yes, sir.
He was in charge of those, and he fucked a lot of people over.
A lot of people.
And his boy watched it, and he became a racist because his father was a racist.
And think about that. This is someone, speaking about Donald, who never had to ask for anything, who never had to really venture out. His father gave him money.
Did everything.
Yeah. To start these businesses. And there's even some talk that, when his father passed away on his deathbed, that there might have been some restructuring of the will so Donald can get more.
It's funny you bring it up. I've actually heard about that also.
Yeah.
Where he got his father to sign everything over to the son.
Yeah.
After the father was dying.
Fred Trump, who was the father.
He was a little senile at the time.
Yeah.
And that was the beginning of Donald's corruptness, where if you could take advantage of your father and do that, that's the beginning of a sign of a not a good man.
Yeah, that's like Joffrey, Game of Thrones type shit.
Yeah,
right. You have no heart. So
Game of Thrones, baby, shout out.
Yeah, so the world's greatest showman. Think about all his polarizing debates, his shock and awe statements, his radical promises, his wayward words that he weaponized to besmirch and smear his opponents.
Well, he's been
lock her up, nasty woman. Build a wall. We're gonna get all of these immigrants out. No other president in history that I personally know of has began a campaign with this level of being a demagogue, being plutocratic, just I'm going to use my wealth, to just take the presidency way that he did.
Because Donald figured that out.
Yeah.
As I was saying, Donald realized that if you actually say the catchphrases, the hot topics that people want to hear.
That's all they signal into. So then they're just yes.
Well,
yes.
You could say they're living in an echo chamber, right?
No, absolutely.
Because if everybody says the same thing, it all bounces around.
Yeah.
They're not listening to alternate voices.
Then if you're saying it, you're my friend, it must be right.
Right, exactly.
But without listening and actually seeing what's going on in reality.
And that all began going back to the Reagan era. And we're going to spend some time on Ronald Reagan also. We're going to do an episode on him because we have some interesting facts about that.
Yeah.
But getting back to Donald, I should say. Donald.
He a clown. Ronald McDonald, motherfucker. He a clown.
They found the ways to play with the religious zealots. And the emotions of people. And Donald only plays on everything that he realizes. He's smart enough to figure out what the catchphrases are and whatever the topics are to work to his benefit.
Yeah, the dog whistle shit. They hear it. They kind of Oh, I get that. You with me. When you on some radical racist shit, I'm with that.
Not.
Yeah.
He's not.
No.
Don't be fooled by it, folks.
So, the next thing I would like to talk about, MAGA for life. Yeah. With this one phrase, he turned apathy into idolatry. Make America great again. Who the fuck said America wasn't great to begin with? You know?
It's great because it allows people. No, why it's great? Here's why it's great. It allows that asshole to do what he did.
In his mind. And think about that. With this one message in hand and in hat, you know, he would take his gospel and spread it via Twitter. I've never known, and you know, obviously we have to take into account that prior presidents didn't have the luxury of Twitter and social media platforms, but I've never known another president or, you know, really any Senate elected official congressman, you know, and they're on Twitter, but the intensity, the length, the degree that he spends on Twitter.
Unbelievable.
Shouldn't you be thinking about running the United States and, you know,
it backfired on him.
policy?
You're right. He should be thinking about that. But you know something? It backfired on him because just the following few hours after he lost the election, right? Obviously.
Yes.
Whatever it might be, they still have to do they have to add it all up and make sure it's all legit and whatnot.
But he refused to concede.
He wouldn't concede.
I'm not letting go.
But on Twitter, the next 10 to 15 messages were all deleted for false information.
Oh yeah. The fact that a sitting United States president has to get fact checked and has to get his tweets pulled and deleted.
What does that say?
What does that say?
Well, you know, what begs the question. How can 69 to 70 million people love him so ardently? I don't understand. I mean, I understand. I talked about it before. I did mention the fact that, you know, people just had the dislike for the government.
Apathy.
Apathy. I'm sorry. Apathy.
But I have a theory. I think people who make decisions off emotion are immune to logic.
Gotcha.
They just
listen to what they're told. So
yes,
they can't discern what the
you
real
rile
facts
me up.
are.
I feel good.
Sure,
I'm voting for you, whether it makes sense or not.
Yeah. Well, how can we deny the fact that this has always been a race war since the get go?
I've seen very good things. Just shoot the Lysol into the blood. It's fine.
Yeah,
you know?
If you got the strong white light, whatever the hell it was, if you throw light in my body,
was that like Captain America, the Vita race? Who the fuck does this guy think he is, man?
Is that the super serum?
Can we just get back to actual science? So, The Apprentice, you know, holy shit, you know, he won with no political background. Ladies and gentlemen, I give you your 2016 president-elect, Donald Trump, a.k.a. grab him by the P word. This is the guy, like...
What do you mean? Are you scared to say pussy?
Pussy. grab him by the pussy, you're famous. Well, like, this is... Like,
I respect you not saying it.
Who got behind this man that said grab him by the pussy on record? They didn't auto-tune his voice. Like, he said that shit. Oh, no, it was locker room talk. No.
That's what they said. I don't...
What sitting president has been recorded saying shit like this? This is going back to like Nixon era shit. Like, really? This is how America is going to be represented for the next 4 years. This is how we dignify the other dignitaries that, you know, Mr. Grabbing by the Pussy says this is my foreign policy on whatever the fuck. Hold on, man. It's crazy.
Well, I'll tell you something right now related to what you're speaking about. Everything that took place for the last 4 years, which wraps up on January 20th of 2021.
Get him the fuck
It's
out
almost
of here.
like a fantasy world. We know it took place. We saw it. It all took place.
I was here for it.
You know, in the future, what they're going to do?
Shit, I got one gray hair because of this motherfucker.
One?
Yeah, only one. I was sliding through. Okay, this whole 22.
Yeah.
I'll cut you off. Go ahead. Go ahead.
The bottom line is like it's more than surreal. It is surreal.
It's definitely surreal.
It's totally surreal. And the thing is, it took place. That's what scares me the most. And I don't mean to, like, you know, downgrade any of the other Americans that are out there and whatnot. I mean, I understand. There's things you believe in. There's things you like and whatnot. But we all make mistakes, right?
Yeah.
I mean, I make mistakes every goddamn day, right?
We got to learn from it. So
learn from your mistakes.
Let's
hope that maybe there's some optimism in all this.
Think about this. Over 3,500 lawsuits in 2016. No prior sitting president has had that many lawsuits.
Dude, I can't think of any president that's had a fucking 100 of them.
Russia's alleged meddling, Russian oligarchs' ties to Putin, China and the mysterious ballot rigging. Like, when's the last time we've had like a presidential election 2016 that's been surrounded with so much ambiguity, so much mystery, so much? Hit that subscribe button, hit the notification button so you never miss out on this elegance of outrageousness.
What ends up happening is the relationship becomes contentious.
Okay.
And the things that you're expecting to take place when you first got together, both sides, ends up becoming not what the relationship is all about anymore.
Yeah, because once you get the sex, you're not trying to get the sex.
Right.
So all the things that you were doing, you just pull back and stop doing. And those are all the things that she liked you for.
Yeah, exactly. So if you lose the touch and the knack of what you started with, your course is just going to go straight downhill. And a lot of people aren't taught to actually deal with situations. So instead of actually fixing it and talking to each other, whatever it might be to help.
Because communication is key.
It's key.
And it's not hyperbole. It really
is in everything you do. Not just sex and relationships.
Any partnership that you have in life.
In business, your life, your parents, your children, whatever it might be. Podcasting. We work together, and you have to. And when we have situations, we talk.
Yeah.
So, what the fuck?